I think one of the most beautiful frames I've ever witnessed. This is something else. Insane. This is huge. Oh my God. Is that what I think it is? I wasn't ready for this.
Amazing. I like you as well, man. Pretty wild. This is insane. I should have brought my swimsuit. That was actually pretty fun.
We just toured one of the largest homes in America, and I'm pretty sure after this video, this property is gonna sell. It's over 50,000 square feet, situated on 150 acres in the mountains of Utah, with an asking price of $12.9 million. Without a doubt, one of the craziest homes we've ever toured. All right, Kerry, are we doing this?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Welcome to the Hobble Creek Estate.
I mean, where are we?
Well, we're at the end of Hobble Creek Canyon in Springville, Utah, which is about an hour south of Salt Lake City.
I mean, one of the biggest residences in the United States, over 50,000 square feet, and I couldn't believe the acreage. So it's 150 acres, and I just thought there are so many opportunities and things you can do to this property, and the fact that you can acquire an estate this size for that price point, with these kind of absolutely jaw-dropping views, the scale is just absolutely insane.
We've had a couple contractors come up and give us bids. So to recreate this, you're a $50 million property, and we're priced at $12.9 million.
Amazing. So this morning we passed through the gates. We have about, what, 3/4 of a mile private driveway that leads you to this point?
You get this incredible view corridor as you turn and look at the property, and you get these views looking out. This is the Wasatch Range of mountains with Provo Peak, which is about 11,000 feet in elevation.
So you own all the way to that hilltop?
You do. You own just over the edge of that hilltop. Plus, I mean, you look around and we're surrounded by national forests.
I was going to say,
just up the end of this canyon, you've got hundreds of thousands of acres of national forest that's at your fingertips.
And what's our elevation here?
So our elevation here is about 5,900 feet.
And also, dead silent.
It is absolutely quiet. So everything under pavers, which is really exciting, is all radiant heat. So there's these massive boiler system that cost a fortune to put in, but you can turn this on. If you decide you didn't want to use it, you don't have to. Actually, when the owner lived here, he had it plowed.
Now, what a grand entry. Massive water feature in the center, your covered entrance.
Yeah, if you can imagine the layout of the home, you've got the indoor swimming pool here. This end right here is a NBA-sized half court, basketball court. You've got the grand entrance, 9-car garage.
How would you describe the architecture?
That's a good question. It's almost has a Mediterranean feel. You know, they were designing it to try to be, you know, something grand that mirrored some of the peaks. As we step back and you look at some of the pitch lines in the roof, and then you look at the mountain peaks in the distance, they tried to create, you know, some reference to those.
I feel like it's mixed between Mediterranean, European inspired. It's really like a palace. But then when you look at the scale and some of the amenities, it has a lot of American qualities. The indoor pool that we're gonna see, all the other amenities, which is absolutely wild. And throughout the tour, I'm gonna talk about some of the things that I would do to this property to spend really the least amount of money and get the most amount of buck. Because this is a serious property and the construction is all concrete and steel, and it's in great shape. But it does need a little bit of updating, a little bit of facelift, and that's really where the opportunity lies.
That's what we think. You know, it was built by a commercial contractor, Westland Construction, but to be able to buy it at $250 a square foot, this is a $50 million property.
Yes.
And, you know, the opportunities then to put a little bit of money in to update it, all of a sudden, you know, I think it changes the experience and the asset as well.
They have copper gutters throughout, and they look immaculate, and maybe bringing in more copper elements or possibly even painting the tile roof because it's in great shape, and maybe modernizing some of these columns. You can facelift it quite easily without having to really alter the structure and go through a heavy remodel.
There's a lot of aesthetic things I think that could be done just all by preference, but that would create quite a different experience of the property.
And my recommendation would be is to hire an architect and really give them the time to say, look, study the property, see what are the elements that are worthy to save, and with what minimal changes we can do to give this property a new facelift. Because you start changing some light fixtures, smoothing out some of the columns or ornate details, and you change part of the roof and the color palette and some of the stucco touches, all of a sudden it looks like a new home, even though structurally speaking, you really haven't done much to it. I feel like that's the appropriate approach here to make sure that the money spent is well utilized.
You know, you can build homes anywhere, but to find something in this type of a location you can't replicate with the views, to be at an end of a canyon with all these recreational opportunities.
Absolutely, and this covered entry is quite insane. Our Suburban looks somewhat small here, but that's where we have the front door.
So we've got an 8-car garage here, and then we've got a service garage right over here. But if you come out here, I mean, look at the views.
Oh
again.
my God.
This is what it's all about right here.
This is wild. This is absolutely insane. I think one of the most beautiful frames I've ever witnessed. This is something else. I mean, we're in this canyon, but where the house is situated is quite elevated as well. So you get this elevation, you look into the canyon, and the surrounding mountains are open, and you still have this like big flat surface that technically is your backyard.
Yeah, no, it is. And you know, one of the advantages of being up on this plateau is you do get a lot of sun. And so it feels great year round.
Amazing. Okay, well, I'm excited. Let's go inside. Now, we cannot come all the way to Utah and not invite my friend James, aka the Stradman, and his girlfriend Sophia.
What a spot. Yeah, right? Insane. Amazing. I like you as well, man.
You guys are ready to see this?
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's do it. Stick around to see James and Sophia's full reaction. But now, let's take you inside. Oh, wow. It is so much bigger than the photos. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, look at this chandelier. I think it's it's certainly the largest chandelier that I've ever seen in a home.
And then you have double staircase going up. This is a pretty grand space, and this detailed marble work in the center. And I mean, you can really keep the structure the way it is and maybe change the crown molding, go with matte color paint, and do new paneling. And I think a lot of these motifs is what's kind of giving its dated look. So if you get rid of even just the railing and maybe modernize it a little bit, take it back, or even, I mean, I don't mind the floors, but you can easily go over them with brand new hardwood floors because it would be a fortune to get rid of these floors, but it's such a good solid substructure too. And then you have these insane Corinthian precast columns.
You know, there's multiple columns throughout the house. There is a structural element to
Yeah.
these, so they would need to stay.
This is wild.
Yeah, if you step down, now look at that.
Oh my God, when you step down, the mountain just reveals itself. I mean, these picture windows are massive. Do you mind if I step on this?
No, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, it'll hold you.
Dude, look how big this picture window is. And that view is wild.
This is an interesting space, I do want to point out. So when the owner was building this property, he was married to a woman who was from Russia. And so there were some of those elements that you'll see. So this is a recreation of a Russian cathedral flooring.
Really?
So incredible detail. That was the inspiration behind this floor.
I mean, this is a very expensive parquet flooring. The amount of time you would have to spend to install a floor like this
Yeah,
is
and
quite
look at-
wild. Look at all the motifs and
if you look at
layering.
the
A little balcony over there, all these columns.
Our ceilings are just over 20 feet. So you're about 22 feet in this
Got it.
space, just to give you an idea.
And assuming this is your former living room,
This would be your formal living room.
is this a marble fireplace?
Marble fireplace. You'll see a similar fireplace over in the family room as well.
And again, this shows the property's age, but also if you can tastefully remodel, update the floors, the color palette here, some of the trim work, you can keep an intricate piece like this and make it be the focal point of the room. Because right now, there are so many details in this room between the railing and the columns, it's a little busy, it's a little overwhelming. So if you tone down some of those elements, a fireplace like this with a new trim, instead of the brass, maybe stainless steel, can immediately elevate the feel. I just love how grand it is. Oh my God.
They used to hold events outside, so they would fly helicopters in, land right over here, cater events. They'd have 400 or 500 people set up just right out here.
The property that we toured yesterday, as we were driving out, there was another property nearby, and they had a helicopter in their garage.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have these recreational helicopters that they just store in their own home.
They do, and this property would be ideal for that situation. So, you're about 30 minutes from two private airports, from the Spanish Fork Airport or the Provo Airport. You could easily jump in a helicopter if you were flying in from out of state and land right here at your property.
Crazy.
Yeah,
It's
really
like
fun.
it's
But
fun.
it does give that sense of the opportunity to hold events, to be an event center, and even the zoning allows for a conditional use to be an event center or corporate retreat.
Really? Amazing. All right, let's go back in. We got a lot more to see.
Yeah, a lot more.
lot
50,000
more.
square feet more. The way it lays out, you have 2 bedrooms here, 4 bedrooms upstairs, and just a total of 6 bedrooms.
This is where the primary starts?
This is the primary site. So again, 50,000 square foot home deserves a massive primary suite.
Oh my God. This has to be, for sure, I think one of the biggest bedrooms we've ever toured. A king size bed would end about here. So then you have this whole thing.
You have this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There's opportunities, obviously, to use the space differently depending on how you furnish it.
Yeah.
We have had a couple people who have even talked about maybe even framing in a private little office space right here.
Office, lounge, partially separating it. I mean, a lot of opportunities here. And I also like that flooring is carpet, which means ripping this off and immediately laying some sort of hardwood floors is quite easy.
Would be easy.
You have the perfect substructure underneath. And then we have French doors opening up. So a couple picture windows, but this is kind of the money shot.
Yeah, again, if you can imagine having your bed here and looking out over the mountain views.
Okay, let's recreate this. Mike, can you go to this side? I'm just gonna lay on the
All
floor
right,
here.
lay
It's a yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good view to look at from your bed.
It's not too
Obviously, it
bad.
would be 2 to 3 foot elevated.
Yeah.
That's a pretty great view. And obviously getting rid of some of these window treatments and maybe updating the paneling and paint would immediately change the spirit of this room.
So the bathroom, again, is on scale
Sure
for the
is.
bedroom.
Sure is. Oh my God. I mean, you have to put some sort of lounging, something in the center to utilize the space. But this is not a bathroom. I mean, if you add few amenities, this could be your own spa for the primary.
It really
Small
could,
sauna, small steam room, and you can totally change the spirit here.
Centerpiece is this big sunk-in tub. And again, as you kind of, bend down and you can see the views that you would experience if you were in the tub. It's fantastic.
This is incredible.
And nobody's around, nobody's looking at you, so you really don't even need window treatments. if
You
don't
really
want.
don't. I feel like the world needs this these days. Everything is so hectic. Technology is in our lives every day, every moment. And since we've been in Utah, there's just a level of tranquility and laid backness. Whether it's people's attitude, these homes and the surrounding landscape, even just driving here is an experience.
You've got to see the closet, because the closet
Oh no.
is incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on in.
I didn't see it in the photos, I think.
No, I don't think we had pictures of the photos.
Okay, so this is the first section.
So
There's another section here.
it wraps around.
Okay. Oh my, okay. There's another section here.
Sometimes you'll get in these big homes and people will say, "Hey, our master bedroom, closet is just too small." This
Oh
is
no,
the
this
opposite.
is not the case
No,
here.
this-
This is not the case here. And it goes.
Oh, it keeps going.
Okay. Oh, no way.
So this is actually designed to be a safe room or a panic room. This is a steel door.
Oh yeah, multiple latches.
Yeah, if for some reason you needed that space, this could be it.
You can't be panicking here.
No, you can't. You would still need the button.
I mean, you would
Push
panic because you were like, where am I? Like, you might get lost. Just the
Yeah.
amount of rooms you have.
Or where
It's
did
crazy.
you put
And
your
also the
clothes?
mirrors are just like big illusion. There are like 7 of me in this room right now. Is that what I think it is?
This is a private entrance down to the swimming pool.
Oh my God.
And we're not going to go down these stairs right now. We're going to come to the swimming pool from the basement. But I
Got it.
wanted to just see, if you did want to go down and enjoy the swimming pool, you do have this private access.
I feel like if Richard Rich lived in 2010 and wanted a mountain home, this is kind of what he would build.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at the length of this hallway.
We walked it off once. It's like 70 yards.
Okay, so we partially covered the right wing. Now we're going to the left, right?
Yeah, now we're going to go over kitchen, dining, family room. The property does have a commercial-sized elevator, so it services all 3 levels.
Got it.
Living in the home and you had your dining, your everyday dining experience would likely be right here. There's an incredible formal dining room. Another large chandelier, 20-plus foot ceilings. So a kitchen access, a large kitchen for a large home.
You can either work with the existing layout. I mean, these are expensive stone countertops, solid wood cabinetry. Simplest thing would be is to maybe just update the handles and the appliances and kind of embrace the look. Or midway would be is to actually just, Armand, can we get a close up? You see the body of the cabinetry is all solid cabinetry. All you have to do is just simply unscrew it and take the fronts and get new fronts and get the base of the cabinetry all painted, and you can have a fresh kitchen by simply resurfacing this kitchen and then maybe changing the countertop and updating the appliances. Now it sounds like you're still changing a lot of the kitchen, but the fact that you're not touching your plumbing and ripping things, that makes it so much easier.
And less expensive.
A lot less expensive. But for some people, kitchen is very important.
No,
and
it
they
is.
may want to really update it and really give that wow effect.
The other nice thing is somebody could move in and use it as is right now.
Yes. It would actually be great if someone moves in, embraces it, and lives in it for a year, and then realizes what the property is missing, what they would like to add on, and really come up with a cohesive plan to say, not only aesthetically we want to change these things, these are the things we want to add or reconfigure.
This was where the family hung out. This was the place where they had a TV on the wall, they had some very casual sitting. It is good size, and you replicate these massive windows. So you're looking down Hobble Creek Canyon right here, but just over here you're looking to the west and you get these peaks that we've been looking at throughout the tour.
And just so everybody can understand the logic behind the picture window, you don't want to have any seams, because if you have sliding glass doors, when you have it closed, you're going to have seams.
Yep.
These are arguably one of the biggest picture windows I've ever seen with no seams. Because they're picture windows, you cannot have them flush all the way to the ground. So we have some framing here to attach, and above you can see that they have another beam. The beam with the columns on each side are what's carrying these picture windows. And hence, they put another one above to maximize the view and natural light that comes in. But I would work with these.
No, for sure. And you have doors right here out to the deck.
Yeah.
So all of these rooms on this main level open to the deck system.
My vote would be is to keep the picture windows and maybe improve the trim around it to blend in with this newer look that you're going for. And then maybe possibly change the French doors and match the new aesthetic that you're going for. Or the cheaper option is just change the hardware.
Yeah.
All the hinges, all the door handles, and painting it will immediately give those French doors a totally new look.
Let me just point out, this is a similar fireplace to the one we saw in the formal living rooms.
I would work with these fireplaces, and also a little note, the lines on top, and the other one had it too, they're actually mortared in. You can remove these lines if you wanted to. I love my sculptures, and I would actually take them and utilize them somewhere in the house as decoration, but I do think it's probably better to just leave some of the motif work and let the fireplace speak for itself. I think the lines are adding a little too much flashiness to this fireplace design, but I agree with you. I would work with them. I would keep them. And they're gas fireplaces, right?
They are gas.
Perfect. I mean, if you want, you can probably change the interior unit as well, give it a new look, fresher look, and you have all the utilities, gas lines behind it.
All 20-foot ceilings here. It's such a big space, and it's hard to capture on camera, but you could certainly do multiple sitting areas in this room.
Easily, easily. All right, quick pause from the tour to thank Odoo for sponsoring today's video. If you're running a business, you already know how much there's to juggle. Day-to-day operations, sales, accounting, website, it adds up, and it can get overwhelming. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one platform with a wide range of apps that help you manage your entire business in one place. From CRM and accounting to sales, planning, and so much more. For example, if you want to build a website, Odoo's website builder makes it easy. You answer a few simple prompts about your business, pick a color palette, and you're basically set. I actually used it to build an event website for the movie premieres we've been hosting for our documentary-style episodes, and it only took a few minutes. And here's the best part. Your first Odoo app is completely free for life. That includes unlimited hosting, support, and even a custom domain name for 1 year. Whether you're launching a new brand or upgrading an existing one, Odoo really simplifies the process. So check out the link in the description to learn more, and big thanks to Odoo for sponsoring this video. And now, back to the tour.
So this level's divided up. We have 2 bedrooms on both ends. On this end, we have a playroom, and that end there was an office. So let's come down this direction.
Another little library.
We do have deck or balcony access.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Just the fresh air that hits you. Something else. I'm gonna make an assumption. So you have the stone columns and you have these arch openings, again, to complement the architecture and the style that they go for. But if you want, you can actually square off these openings and have it more rectangular, because it does cut into the view a little bit. And even getting that cut, and I'm talking about just removing a section, can immediately change how this property is received on the outside.
So this is the largest bedroom upstairs.
Got it.
So a place you could get multiple beds. We're looking to the east on this one. All the other bedrooms look out to the west. Bathroom has a massive soaker tub. Look at that.
15 years ago, this marble was extremely chic. It's still, so here's the funny thing. Right now it looks dated, but if you were to pick the right wall color, change the fixtures, possibly the tub, all of a sudden this marble, and if you can maybe square off the edges, can have a totally different feel. But I would push my designer and my architect to say, work with this stone, give me a palette, wall color, and fixtures that complements this look. And all of a sudden, it's like you're reversing the retro aspect of the stone. I don't know if I've done a good job explaining it.
Yeah, it does. It makes total sense.
Because this is precious stone, but in this context, it looks aged. But if you fix everything else, all of a sudden it can allow this stone to be louder and really elevate the space. What is this?
This is the children's play area.
Oh my God.
You know, obviously highlighted by the pirate ship slide into the ball pit.
Who are these children? I want to be one. I mean,
what a fun space. They even had a trampoline at one time over here, and you could ride little plasma cars around, and you know, just tried to come up with a place that was just fun and exciting for the young kids.
oh wow, that's cool. Oh my God, there is a bathroom here. Crazy. Okay, can I point out a really interesting detail here? Every bathroom, I mean, so far the bathrooms I've seen, they all have drains. When you have a big home like this, what if one of the fixtures here fail? Now it's leaking. And even if you're in the property, it might take you hours, if not days, for you to realize, oh wow, our bathroom has been leaking. But when you have a drain like this, and you can see they've gently sloped it, this drain can save you millions of dollars, because eventually it will collect all the water. Now you will have to get your floors replaced and all of that stuff, but you would save the remaining parts of the home. So I think they did this knowing that this is a big estate and a problem can arise. Okay, well, I gotta try this slide now. Oh! Well, it is built for kids, you know, not me. I shouldn't be here, but you know. I never thought we would come to Utah to tour a 50,000 square foot home on 150 acres, and I'll be, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. All right, there we go. All right, what's next? I created a mess here.
That's all right. We'll come back and get it.
When's the last time I slid into a ball pit? That was actually pretty fun. Probably last time was at like a McDonald's when I was like 8 years old.
I don't even remember.
So this is entirely a play kitchen. So
Oh
there's
my
not
God.
even there's not even plumbing to the fixture.
This is the cutest thing ever. It's like, I love that it's shallow, so they can work.
It is.
This is incredible.
This is fun, yeah?
This is fun.
Oh wow, I wasn't ready for this. This is cool. People don't realize how much small things can make a difference in a space. Here, I mean, it was built 15 years ago. You have these ceiling mount light fixtures, speakers that are attached to the ceiling. Nowadays, all those fixtures you can recess into the plaster. It's not that much work. You can easily cut out the openings, get new grills, and cover all these fixtures. So now they're blended into your ceiling design, and you change the paint color, absolutely different tone. You can go with smaller, more contemporary recessed lighting, or by simply installing trim around the room and giving it a mood lighting, you can eliminate a lot of those fixtures. And that alone would change the feeling of this room so much. And I like the thesis here, but getting new AstroTurf or making it a little bit more colorful, possibly bringing in some like living walls, You can have a lot of fun with this space.
You could. One other thing too, to maybe just plan. We've had a few people come and say, hey, we wish I had more bedrooms. This space could actually, because you have plumbing right here, you could expand that to a full bathroom, cut this space into 2 or 3 bedrooms, and you could really add to your bedroom count on the home.
So 2 bedrooms, lounge area, playroom on the right wing. And then on the other side, we have 2 more guest suites.
This one's interesting in that it also has a safe door.
I was just gonna say, what's up with this massive hinge?
Well,
you see, normally you will have like little 3 hinges for an interior door like this.
So this is a steel door, could be a panic room, and this is actually bulletproof glass.
Yeah. Oh wow. I feel like you want
If
to.
you panic, you have a view.
Yeah. I know. Well said, Armand. Well said.
This was the office.
I would just glass enclose this.
I would
right?
too. Yeah.
Like, I don't mind the location. I mind the fact that I can hear people in the family room. But then if I just had a picture window here.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the light, you don't want to lose the views, but a simple glass wall.
Exactly. But then it's a great space. And you see who's coming to your property on the other side. Where do we go
So that's
next?
everything upstairs. So why don't we go down to the lower level? Let's start out here at the bowling alley.
Okay.
So you've got a 2-lane bowling alley, shuffleboard here, you've got just a wet bar.
Bowling alleys are not cheap. It's really hard for me to advise someone to put a bowling alley in their home just because I know how much it costs and you have to dedicate so much square footage. But they've done it here and they're willing to give it to you at a significant discount. Take advantage of it. Have bowling in your house.
No, for sure. Let's see it.
I was going to say, does it work?
We can't cheat it right now. We have just one chance because bowling is not on right now.
I know.
We have one chance.
Okay, I'm ready. Why are you setting me up like this, Kerry? I'm like, I really have to deliver now.
I know, a lot of pressure.
Come on! Not too bad.
Well, that was a good try.
Not too bad. And like these retro screens and all that. And again, we can change the flooring here, update the light fixtures, go in with recessed lighting, maybe some strip lighting.
Yeah, I don't think it's much though in this space.
They've made the investment.
Another fun part of the property, when they built this, they really wanted to have a shooting gallery. So they created this space. You've got a suspended slab ceiling over the garages. So you remember we have that big, massive 8-car garage.
So we're
this
underneath
is
it now.
underneath it. So we're about 135 feet long. In order to really turn this into a shooting gallery, obviously you have to have a company come in and they'll fit it out. But that's what this is all set up for.
So you know what it makes me think? You get one of those car elevators, straight from the driveway.
We had someone talk about that.
And then you just drop it, and this is where you store your exotic cars. Here's why. It's air conditioned, private, not easily accessible. And these days, I mean, the collectors and some of the cars out there are crazy. We were recently in David Lee's garage. He bought a $38.5 million Ferrari 250 GTO.
Wow.
And this is the type of place where you want to keep those kind of cars. Not even in your garage. That's too sensitive. It's, the barrier between outside and inside is just a garage door. But here, amazing car collection, amazing art collection. Because no sunlight is coming in, you can retain and protect your art. There are so many applications here. I want to talk about this. They actually use oversized forms, and you can see there are hardly any seams. So whoever built this, to your point, built it like a commercial project. Second, they use cast iron drain pipes. Normally we use PVC or ABS. Those are the most durable and flexible materials we have. When you build a commercial property, you want to use these. They call them quiet pipe, because when the water flows through these pipes, because they have a metal parameter, you don't hear it. So when somebody flushes, you won't hear it. With ABS or PVC, you'll hear every water movement. A lot more expensive, a lot more labor intensive, and a lot less forgiving, meaning when you create these connection points with PVC, you can bend the pipes a little bit. This is metal, it's not bending. And every time you have a cut, you have to use those metal strips with 2 torquing points to attach. I've done a lot of plumbing myself. You know, I wasn't a very wealthy developer, so I had to do a lot of the work myself. I've done a lot of cast iron work. Okay, one more thing, I'm really nerding out. You see those attaching points to the concrete? They're adjustable. And with plumbing lines, you have to give it an angle so the water flows very nicely. They use those metals and you can adjust them, and once you have the height, you strap it around the pipe. Plumbing 101 by Enes.
There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. Just stay right here. I'm gonna walk all the way to the other side so people can understand. Arma, can you walk backwards a little bit? All right, how do I look? This is one of the craziest spaces I've
big.
ever toured in any home. The echo here is crazy. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, you change the doors. It's a massive panic room. And I think beyond the square footage, these kind of opportunities is what's exciting about this home. Somebody is going to come in, and sure, they're going to remodel and all that, but they're going to create few things that they've always dreamt of.
Yeah.
Because they have now the space and the property to justify those kind of amenities. You know, you cannot just have a massive space like this in a reasonably square footage home. You know, like you have to have a mega mansion to say, hey, I also have a shooting range.
Yeah, so if this was your gun range, or if you were into guns, you know, this is a large safe room, totally encased in concrete.
Okay, this is a proper one. Let me see. You see all these latches? Those are what's holding the door in place. You cannot rip this door. You would have to take out the entire thing.
Yeah. So right now it's just an open space.
Oh, it's
again,
massive. Oh, this is huge. I mean, it's not too out of the ordinary if you have gold, silver, precious stones.
Put shelving in here, finish it out, you know,
Bitcoin. This is where you store it.
Yeah, store it all right in here.
Oh, wow. This is crazy, Kerry.
So our next element that I want to showcase is the theater room. So we've got 27 seats. You've got to sit down. These are some of the softest chairs I've ever seen.
Kind of like Lazy Boy Spirit.
They are. Here, have a seat.
Oh my God. They feel like an old school Cadillac.
They do. You know, and I know that the viewers can't smell it, but if you smell that rich leather.
Fresh leather, yeah. Change the wall paneling, the light fixtures, and these seats, you can use them. They're great. Like, they're very comfortable. You can get them reupholstered.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to, you can just have a company take out all the surfaces and resurface them and update them. That way you can keep the structure of the chairs and then just get a newer, fresher vibe and fresh coat of paint. Or you can kind of lean into the quirkiness of it. And these are, I'm assuming, recliner?
They are. All of them are recliner seats.
Are they like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to painfully have you guys experience this while I'm doing this. My back needed this.
Yeah.
Oh,
After walking around 50,000 feet.
I know. You have such a hard life. Well, what is this?
So this space is unique. So, you know, this would be just kind of a comfortable, you know, family room. You've got the fireplace over on this end. You've got a full functioning kitchen over here. You've got the walkout doors, which we'll come back and we need to go out and look back at the home from this angle.
I'm immediately drawn to the outdoors here. Maybe it will be worth the money to spend and open up some of these walls and sliding glass doors.
Yeah.
And make this a lounge/entertainment room. Foosball tables, ping pong tables. I can see people just having a good time here. And then you have a kitchenette here, just enough if you want to warm up some food.
So this is actually full kitchen, yeah.
I don't know what that space is though.
All right, well, come over here. Let's.
Okay,
This
I'm gonna
is
take the other side.
This is where I'd love to get your ideas. I'll tell you what, it was designed to be a trophy room. So, you know, the original owner was a hunter and they had deer and elk and moose and bears and, you know, all of that stuff displayed in this room. You know, the ideas that I've heard of, and I would love to get your feelings, but, you know, turn this into a game room, an arcade space, put multiple TVs on there, you know, ping pong, pool tables, arcade games. We've also had people talk about turning this into a ballroom.
Art gallery. You were talking about a studio. You closed that off. This is the craziest studio, gaming room.
Yeah.
Office, conference rooms, where it's glass enclosed, so it still has that entertainment area.
Yeah.
But the best part about this section, ceiling height.
No, and I think that, again, if you came and spent some time here, but look how far it goes on both directions.
Okay, Armand, can you go to the other side? This is wild. Yeah, also that's a curved ceiling, but I'm assuming they have all the HVAC work. You can push the ceiling up here quite a lot. If you can reroute some of your electrical and plumbing work, you have the ceiling height, so it can even be taller. All of our European viewers are going to be like, why do you need so much space? Hey, if you can afford it, why not? You know, just go for it.
So this leads down to the swimming pool. On our way here, I want to point out a couple things. So utility room.
Okay. Oh, our viewers love utility rooms, so let's go in.
Yeah, so let me just point out, so here's your electronics. So when they built this, they had an AMX system. AMX is defunct now. You'd want to swap that out to some kind of an updated smart home system.
Well, the good thing is, given the old cavities and all that, you can probably snake and rewire a lot of things without having to really take out any of the drywall or do very minimal damage.
There are just miles and miles and miles of cable run through this that are home run there. You have your lighting system,
all your
breaker panels.
Now we're talking, Kerry.
Again, this is built, it's almost like a small hotel.
Not only that, for a 15-year-old home, this utility room looks fantastic. Built-in drains, your furnaces. Oh my God.
So this is all a commercial grade. So you have a radiant water heating system. So it's kind of like an air handler. You do have air conditioning condensers as well.
You know what threw me off? The size of piping. I mean, they didn't outfit this home like a residential home. These are like hotel grade water heaters.
I mean, look at the pipes.
Look at the pipes, the mains, the shuttle valves that come in.
This reminds me of the Containership.
Yeah.
Engine.
Oh my God, it does. Yeah, you're so right. So they have to heat the fuel oil. That's why all the pipes here are insulated because it's relatively hot. And then it goes to the engine. Engine filters it one more time before it gets burned.
I felt like you were in the Containership right now.
I mean, look at all these connection points and bolts. This is serious plumbing. This is the type of plumbing you see going into a high-rise to feed hundreds of units.
Yeah.
And also above, look at this spray foam. If this spray foam is 15 years old, this tells me everything I need to know about this homeowner. 15 years ago, that was a big luxury. That wasn't expensive. People still cheap out and don't get foam insulation like this. That's the best thing you can do for property this scale. And look, all the plumbing is accessible. All the seams are nicely covered up and sealed.
It's been well taken care of. So they have a caretaker that manages the property, even though it is vacant at this time. They do keep up on everything. As you look outside, there are some solar panels. Those solar panels aren't designed to offset electrical costs, but they're designed to become a heat dump to send heat into the swimming pool to help offset the heating costs. And this system is part of that heat dump.
That's cool. That's cool because that is a big pool to heat.
One other thing, just while we're here talking about utilities, the home is on propane. Okay. So there's two 30,000 gallon propane tanks. Okay. The home has a private water well with a 140,000 gallon storage tank that then gravity feeds down to the home and goes through filtration system. It's on a septic system, and then we do have city power. So if you came up and added solar panels, you could be fully off grid.
Fully off grid. And I mean, you have the grounds.
You have the grounds.
That would be worthy of an investment.
Yeah.
From every standpoint, lowering your bill, actually making this an off grid property, and also in case of an outage or something, you're self-sustaining. Yeah. And I mean, the battery technology these days, it's so great that it's worth the investment. I would personally do that.
We're going in towards the swimming pool. You have changing rooms. So there's a men's and a women's. Both changing rooms have showers, toilets, and multiple places to change. It is.
Our candles do look cool in snow. They can also look very cool in your home. They're made with all natural ingredients, hand poured in Los Angeles by us, by our team, and they smell absolutely fantastic. Our first scent, Tangerine Vetiver, is soothing, relaxing, cleansing, and our second scent, Bergamot Rose, is very floral, sweet, and energizing. And if you want to check out our candles, please go to nuarehome.com. You can either get 2 different sizes of glass vessels or try out our sample tins at an affordable price point. Thank you for your support. Again, nuarehome.com.
Yeah, I've never seen it even in a resort here in the state of Utah.
Oh, this is massive.
It is. Let's walk over here to the left.
Crazy. What? Oh my God, it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger.
And I'll turn on the waterfall in just a minute, but let me just point out a few things. So this is a lazy river. We have a waterfall that we'll turn on. It's about 12 or so feet deep. You have some cliff jumping places with the rope swing. There's a water slide that comes down right down into here. You have a hot tub here to our left, and then a kiddie pool area right there.
Oh my, the ceiling height, the skylights. Yeah. Oh wow, and then there's
has a full kitchen.
I mean, do I need to speak?
You've got to stop right here and just kind of soak it in. In fact, why don't you stand right here, and why don't I go turn it on?
Okay.
And let's get the full effect of it.
Let's do it. Now it's really fun.
Now you get it, right?
Now I get it. Now it's the full effect. Look at the hot tub. Wild.
Pretty incredible, huh?
This is one of the craziest spaces I've ever been in.
There's 2 jumping platforms, so you have the higher one here and then a lower one right there. Or you could swing out.
Swing out. I might have to swing out.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I may have to. It's like a little playground. Wow.
Let's walk right over here. I want to just show you the tunnel, and then we'll turn off the waterfall.
Cool.
Woo! So
This
really
is
fun.
wild. This is wild, dude. Unbelievable. I want to create an LLC, do a fractional ownership, and myself and my fans, we should all buy this thing and remodel it and make it a compound for the couple hundred people that are going to invest in this with me forever. It becomes a resort.
You can see why this would be such a fun, event center, corporate retreat.
The ultimate buyer for this is going to be someone or a family that wants to not only enjoy it and share it. It would be a shame if only a few people lived in this property.
Yeah.
I think every room should be utilized. I can see an owner of an S&P 500 company buying this, remodeling it and saying, corporate retreat. Their executives, their staff can come here, they can hold big events, conferences, and a lot of people can stay. I want to say 30 to 40 people can comfortably stay if you can reconfigure some of the rooms.
Yeah.
And you have staff, you have your chef. There's so much that can be done. I have 2 directions with this. Number 1, you embrace everything that's here and then polish the floors. I think floors are great. These are natural stone floors, but get it sanded, polished up, clear the grout lines, and kind of embrace everything that's in place, but maybe furnishings, paint, get rid of some of the light fixtures and kind of modernize it. Or number 2, someone can take a very radical approach. It will cost a little bit of money, but although it's all fun, you can minimize some of the decor here and just turn that into like a light water feature and turn this into the craziest spa. You can even minimize the size of this pool here by simply squaring it off, and you have all this space and you properly turn it into a spa. I mean it, like Turkish bath, saunas, steam rooms, everything, because then I can see the value where the individual that buys this home, that's what they want to do. They want to nurture their body, their souls. And my boldest idea, you see those columns are what's carrying the weight of this roof. You can get this corner restructured, get that corner restructured, and get a massive hangar door here and open up this entire space to the mountains. Now tell me if anybody has an indoor pool like that with these kind of views.
I don't know of any.
Whoever buys it, you need a consultant, call me. I got ideas.
But we still have a little bit more to see. You have 2 powder baths here.
Why everything is so much bigger than it looks in the photos?
So this is an NBA-sized half court. You could do, today everybody loves pickleball. You could do 2 pickleball courts here. It does have the lines for a volleyball table. They used to hold big events in here, so cater events with tables and chairs.
Any of the NBA team owners that watch this video, please
This is
give
the
Kerry
place.
a call, like consider this. Yeah, and then you can have your corporate retreats here. You can have your players come in, stay, work out,
Some training.
chefs, training. We can do a lot here. Bold idea. Not everybody seeks an indoor pool. They can close off the pool and turn this into a full-size basketball court.
Yeah, or you could push that way and do it indoor. Just expand that way, keep the pool.
Keep the pool, exactly.
Yeah. So if you think about this lower area, let's just kind of review. You have your bowling alley, shooting range, theater room, the big family room, swimming pool, basketball court. I mean, it's really set up for a place that you don't have to leave.
And what if they want to expand? And I know that sounds crazy given that we have 50,000 square feet, but what if they wanted to add a barn for a garage or for some of their outdoor equipment? Would that be allowed?
So good question. So you can build outbuildings, garages and barns. The thing you can't do is just build another home. So you could expand, this home as long as it's connected. So if you needed more bedrooms, we could build onto this structure.
Got it.
We just can't build another, a second home.
Now, the $1 million question, and we're going to check out the grounds after this. If you were to go all out and properly remodel this home, given the square footage and the land, how much do you think it can fetch?
You know, I think if you put, you know, 4 or 5 million into it, if you really went, you know, which I think's on the upper end of what somebody, at least the people I've had come in, you know, this is a, you know, $30+ million property.
Got it. What if you spend $10 million and properly change the identity and give facelift to almost every single room?
Well, then I think you're rivaling the most expensive properties that have ever sold in Utah.
Got it.
You know,
Like you're pushing 35s, possibly 40s, depending on what other
I think you
utilities
are.
you bring in. But the ideal scenario here would be is that a family buys it, they remodel it, and they keep it. And it's a perfect home for them, and they keep it for generations. That's what I would hope.
I think so too. I think it's hard to buy something, try to flip it in a year. I
Yeah.
think this is a, you know, this is a 5-year plus project, and at the end of that, you're going to have something that's unheard of in the American West.
There you go.
Yeah.
One of the biggest homes in America.
I don't have enough friends to even like.
I don't have enough ideas.
I don't have enough ideas, friends. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, right.
That whole lower level right there.
But wait till you see this madness.
What in the world?
Oh no, you can't react. It's pretty
This
wild.
is insane. I should have brought my swimsuit. I would have gone
There's
down
a
the
roof
slide.
swing. Yeah, I know.
A rope. Wow. This is amazing.
Isn't this wild? Dude, this is
I would
nuts.
never leave.
No.
You know, you come here and you just never leave.
Yeah, so one thing is one of my favorite parts of the home is walking out here to the back and turning around to just see how incredible this structure is.
It's pretty grand. Well, first off, this being all flat really helps. But it's your walks, just enjoying the grounds, because we are in a canyon and the landscape changes somewhat radically.
The canyon road from the gate that we met at, it comes up another 200 yards, and then it turns into a dirt road, and that dirt road is down here and comes off out into that direction. But this property goes down to the edge of that road. But when you turn around and look at that,
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely wild. This is crazy. The sheer scale of this home, these stone columns, that formal living room area.
so just to remind you, the swimming pool area is down here
Yep.
on this side. Basketball court would be at the end. Garages are up on this side. So this is, you know, that centerpiece is that formal living room that we were just talking about.
Yeah, the stack stone is nice, but I feel like bringing something more on the earth tones and reducing the color diversity would help with the aesthetic. The color variety is a little distracting.
This is unreal.
Sophia, what are your thoughts? You're awfully quiet.
It's just too crazy. I don't know what to say. It's so big.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
crazy
wild.
this is in Utah. This is a palace. I mean, it's just enormous.
It's the Palace of Utah.
Literally,
That
yeah.
should be the new name.
Palace of Utah,
The
right?
Palace of Utah. Just came up with the
New
term.
title.
Yeah, the Palace of Utah.
Well, why don't we get the 4x4 and we'll go for a ride on the land.
Okay, let's do it. Boys are here. You good? Good? Armand, you good? All right, let's do this.
So one thing I'll point out, so Hobble Creek is a year-round stream and flows through the property right here just past the gate.
So this is the driveway. That's about 3/4 of a mile.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, so right here, if you can see down through those columns, is Hobble Creek just flowing right through there. This is obviously a low water time of year,
Got it.
but in the spring it'll pick up, but it flows year-round.
Amazing. So you have your own bridge. It's a pretty serious driveway.
Yeah, creates a great sense of arrival, but also, you know, the distance from the main road gives you a lot of privacy.
A lot of privacy.
So-
And you also mentioned that there's a contract in place already to resurface the driveway.
Yeah, so the driveway will be resurfaced in the springtime, whether, you know, my client owns it or not. So
Got it.
that would transfer to a new buyer.
Got it.
And you could add more trees, you know, create a greater sense of arrival if you wanted to.
Yeah. You can certainly landscape it and give it more weight. If you have a supercar or a hypercar, this is a fun driveway.
This would be really fun. So the property boundary is this fence line.
Got it. What if you wanted to have a motocross track?
You could, yeah, and you'll see how easy that would be to put one in right over here.
Got it. I mean, how awesome is this? He's gonna open up this gate and we have more land, more opportunities. This is fun. You can do so much with this land.
So this is also an easement access to get to the 1,100 acres back behind.
Got it.
Might get a little mud flipping up, so
Oh,
just
it's all
be
good.
ready.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
We're not gonna stop or we'll get stuck.
Did Janek make it? Look at the scenery.
So this property ends just right about where this electrical box is.
Got it.
This is the water tank.
You've done this before, Kerry.
I have. So if you imagine the water well is just below us, pumps up to this tank, this holding tank, and then this tank then gravity feeds down
To the house. How big of a tank?
It's about 140,000 gallons.
So you've got a
it
lot
is
of volume.
massive,
I mean, look at the house. We're still within the property. It's over there. Crazy. Also, what a place to hike in your
hike,
property.
mountain bike ride, you know, you could snowshoe if there was snow. So here's your well right here, then it's pumping right up to that holding tank.
Got it. How deep is the well?
That's a good question. I think it's around 400 feet.
Wow. So they drill a big hole that goes down 400 feet and
Put a
taps
casing
into.
down, yeah, to a water aquifer, and then they're
then you
pumping
push it
out of
up.
there. So their water right allows them to do that.
Do that. Got it. How about wildfires? Are there any here?
You know, wildfires are always a thing in mountains. As you can see, you know, there haven't been. There's no burned out trees or anything.
Got it. But there's a little bit of that risk. How
There's
do they-
always a risk in a mountain setting.
I was gonna say, how do people mitigate that risk?
You know, you keep the deadfall away from your house. You know, there's fire hydrants down by the house. You know, I think the
Got it.
Forest Service does a good job at, you know, fighting fires when they're anywhere in the vicinity of a, you know, where there are homes.
Homes.
So they hit that pretty quick. That's where you need to ride that four-wheeler.
I know. I'm taking that thing for a ride after this tour.
So this is all your property. So as you think about, all right, what are the opportunities, right? You could do a motocross track, you know, place to ride snowmobiles. You could do horse facilities, ride your horses around here. You could just leave it open. You're going to see mainly would be deer and elk. Elk are really exciting. You get these monster bull elk up in this canyon. There's a few bears and mountain lions that live up a little bit higher. You probably don't see them, but there are. You know, could you imagine having, you know, a little ski run coming down this hill?
Oh my God.
Do a rope tow and be really fun.
That'd be cool. You can do that?
Yeah, you can totally do it.
And you own all the way to the hilltop.
Yeah, so just over the hilltop. Motocross, side by side, hiking, leave it natural.
Walk around, clear the brush, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Oh man, this thing goes through brush like nothing. Nothing. Oh, okay.
This canyon just down here, so you see the peak in the middle, and then there's a canyon going to the right.
Uh-huh.
That will take you over to Provo Canyon.
Ah.
So-
And we were there yesterday.
Yep, fun trip on the side by side.
Or a killer helicopter pad. I mean, this calls for it.
A helicopter would be fast. It would be really fun. Then we drop down off the edge. Obviously, we're not going to, but the property line does.
And that's where that dirt road is. Well, that was fun, and that's where the gate is. Our SUV's over there right now.
Yeah, 150 acres. That's quite a bit of land.
What if you have some cattle or some animals? Do you get any tax breaks? Are there any advantages? How does it work?
So really good question. So the current family, they put a few cows out here so that you can be in what we call the greenbelt status.
And we have manure around, so I wonder if it's from them.
No, it is, yeah, and you know, there's benefits in that, you know, it's fun to have cows, but also it does keep your property taxes lower to be in the greenbelt.
Got it. Because you're using it for farming
For
purposes.
agricultural purposes, right?
Got it.
And so to keep the land in that, you know, obviously the county's going to value your house as a residential structure, but the land we can, you know, as long as we're using it for agricultural purposes, we do get a break.
No, it feels amazing to just walk around and
And again, just the peace and quiet. You know, as you stop, you don't hear any other sound.
Now, before we ended the day, there was one more thing left for us to do. The shifts are so gnarly. Oh my gosh. Imagine doing this every day. Imagine doing this every day. Like no one cares.
And you get so good at it too, because you know it so well.
You will perfect your turns every time.
Could you imagine like a Gymkhana video filmed here?
My
where they're doing donuts around the circle, like through the property? Oh my gosh.
That'd be insane.
I would do it every single time. Every single time. Insane.
Dude, thank you for coming. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did very much so.
I'm waiting for the phone call when you're all done with your house. We gotta do proper
Absolutely.
tour, proper
Absolutely.
breakdown, cars, everything.
For sure. We'll get it done.
MTV Chris style.
Absolutely, man. No,
All right,
thank
brother.
you so much.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure.
Amazing. Thank you. What a day that was. The home and its sheer scale, the grounds, the beauty of the surrounding scenery, and driving a Lamborghini Aventador full speed on a private driveway. It was a colorful day, to say the least. Alright, hope you enjoyed this tour. Big thanks to the listing agent Kerry for making this tour possible. More information about the Hobble Creek Estate will be in the description of this video. Thank you for watching.